What's going on, team, and welcome back to my second ever monthly favorites video. I've been thinking since the last one that instead of copping out, being lazy and just chucking one single thing at you, today I want to share with you one monthly favorite as such in the realm of training, nutrition and recovery, one of each, to properly round out a more comprehensive review of what's new and good in those particular realms for me at the moment. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jim Galvin. On this channel we cover all things training, nutrition, biohacking, and ancestral living to help you guys work out what you need to do based on your individual biology to help improve your performance, your health, and your physique. And today I want to share with you one of each thing in the realm of training, nutrition, and biohacking that has helped me do all of these three things. So let's get cracking, shall we? Straight off the bat, guys, let's start with training today. I've mentioned on my Instagram a little bit recently, and I've also mentioned in a couple of my YouTube videos recently that I have basically pretty much completely, I'm not a Puritan with anything, but over the last few months I've done pretty much no barbell back squats. I brought this up recently in my interview a couple of videos back with Ben Simons, GB bobsleigh legend, and he was basically saying that if you're fairly kind of naturally elastic and you've got long femurs, and depending on how the head of the femur sits in your pelvis, so basically kind of the shape and composition and structure of your hip joint, for some people back squats are just going to continue to break you, and that's how it's felt for me for flipping years. It's something that I've always pushed through just kind of like grit and determination, but it's always not just felt challenging, it's just felt wrong. It's just felt structurally unsound. It hasn't been the weight that's made me stop, it's just the positions always felt bad. It's just been so inconsistent, and because of this I got to a stage where I pretty much just stopped doing it. And then it was nice having that chat with Ben, because he basically said that the way that I'm built suggests that I shouldn't be doing them at all. That being said, one variation of this exercise, of kind of the king of lifts, has always been something that has been okay. It's felt a lot more consistent. It's felt a lot more kind of tangibly healthy, and then afterwards I felt a burn in my legs, but it's felt good. I've got good results from it, and that is basically slightly above parallel box squats. Never get knee pain, no butt wink, all the deleterious symptoms that for me come with kind of repeated exposure to that kind of really elastic bounce movement, bouncing out of the hole. I just don't get any of these when I do box squat. Could I find a way to basically just muscle through normal barbell back squats and get them done anyway? Probably yes, but my thinking has very much changed with this over the last 2 to 3 years, and let me share that with you now. If you're in your mid-20s, guys, or younger, you might not know what I'm talking about, and this message that I'm about to share with you might not resonate that much. However, if you're a guy that's been training for a long time and you are 30 plus, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I could, if I put in enough prior planning and extra work, find a way to squat without a box, arse the grass. But to be honest, now that I'm 33, with the symptoms that I always get from it that I've just shared with you, it's just not flipping worth it. I just can't be bothered with the constant stiffness in my hips, the pain in my lower back, dread of lower body sessions generally, and just the plethora of different injuries and annoyances. 1 year of stiffness, pain, kind of an absence of enjoyment of lower body sessions, all for the sake of possibly hitting a 10 kilo PB in the future. A PB that, to be honest, I'm just really not that emotionally attached to. Just doesn't seem like the right kind of trade-off right now, you know? So anyway, with that being said, simply squatting out normal barbell back squats for box squats that are, yes, a little bit higher, but avoiding all the other bullshit is an absolute no-brainer right now. I'm not saying I'm never, ever gonna squat again. I'm just saying that right now, this is kind of what makes sense to me. The only things that would prevent me from doing this are the idea of a possible conventional back squat PB in the future. And I'm like, well, you know, people could be saying that I'm not squatting below parallel. I'm really not that bothered about that if my performance and everything else stays the same, but overall I just feel so much more healthy and kind of my body is working properly and I don't feel on the cusp of injury all the time. And if you are worried about not necessarily developing the strength that you need at depth, it's a simple fix. Just throw in some super acute unilateral work into your program. Like high box step ups, as you're seeing here, super acute, at the hip and the knee, or something like a single leg press would also do the trick. Problem solved. And that is it for training for this month, guys. Moving on to nutrition. I recently heard on a podcast with both a chef and nutritionist that if there is anything that you're going to switch out conventionally in your diet and basically replace with good quality organic stuff, so basically if you are going to spend a little bit of extra money investing in your health on something that is organic, meat is definitely the thing that should come first in that. This made a lot of sense to me and resonated with me pretty much straight away. I now eat more animal-based products than I ever have done. And since making the switch and basically allowing myself to recognize that you get what you pay for and investing a little bit more in high quality animal products, I feel that much better. Especially since moving over to a slightly more kind of paleo template. I say template, I'm not an absolutist or Puritan with this at all. I absolutely smash the flipping gluten-free cookies. But overall paleo as an idea seems to kind of make sense to me, and my body does seem to feel pretty good on that program. And being the diligent investigator that I am, I scoured the internet for a strong 11, maybe 12 seconds before I came across these guys, Coombe Farm Organic. An organic butchers that deliver amazing quality meat and animal products to your door in a freeze box in just a few days. The quality is great, it tastes amazing, they've got a really kind of diverse range, and genuinely the effect that I used to get from poor quality meat that was just like riddled with flipping hormones and other rubbish. I did used to feel heavy, I did used to feel super lethargic, I did used to feel as though it used to kind of take a certain amount of life force out of my body to just process this, but now none of those symptoms happen now that I invest in better quality animal products. The lethargy that I used to get from standard kind of conventional supermarket bought meat beforehand was something that was always noticeable to me, especially with red meat. And again, it was something that hilariously I never used to question. I just used to think this was natural, and I just used to thought this was a sacrifice that kind of everyone had to pay to the god of gains to make sure that you got enough protein in to get bigger, as I'm sure we all did when we were younger and not as wise as we are now. Now, however, very different with this different quality of animal product. No lethargy, no tiredness, no bloating, just kind of a nice feeling of being satiated. I don't really know how to kind of describe it any more than that. I'm not starving, I'm not, stuffed. I'm just nicely satiated after a meal that has this stuff in it. And it kind of feels as though this is exactly how it should feel when you eat good quality fresh food. As you probably expect, the slight caveat on this is that it is not as cheap as mass-produced stuff, but then again, what is worth your money and your investment more so than your health? If there's anything that, money is just an exchange of value, right? For me, I can't really find an example of anything that is worth my money more than, buying better quality stuff that I put into my body to help me kind of improve my performance, health, physique now, and hopefully live longer because of it. And I'll say this again at this brief juncture. I pass judgment on absolutely no one, and I really mean that. And as I've gotten older, I genuinely feel no emotional attachment to other people's journeys, right? And everyone's got to do the things that they want to do at their own pace. And if people are saying that they can't afford to invest a little bit more money into the quality of their meat and animal product food or any supplementation, and they just can't afford it, then that's fine. That's not my place to judge, right? But if you're saying that you can't do that, yet you rock up to the gym 3 times a week wearing brand new Lululemon jeggings and Gymshark tops, then I lovingly and with nothing but compassion and empathy just encourage you to maybe reassess your priorities. It might sound ironic, the fact that I'm telling you to do this while I've worn branded tops in pretty much half the videos that are on my channel, but I buy most of my animal products from Coombe Farm Organic and most of my vegetables from a local farmer's market called Tablehurst Farm, and I can 100% sit here in my integrity and say there is no chance that I would be wearing any kind of branded top if I couldn't afford that shit. So there we go, that is training and nutrition done. Let's move on to the third aspect of today, into biohacking and recovery. And today we'll briefly delve into one of my favorite topics for recovery and biohacking generally. Hence, it was the focus of my first ever video on this channel, and that is sleep. Something that frustratingly plagues me still to this day. As compared to other variables, I just feel as though it is something that I am, kind of completely out of control of. I think that's one of the reasons why it holds so much of my attention. In my constant attempt to improve sleep quality, I've recently discovered the power and the value of listening to certain soothing sounds as you are falling to sleep. Putting on some rain sounds as an example while I'm listening to my Kindle before I go to bed, because that's the kind of rock and roll lifestyle I lead. It genuinely just chills me the flip out. It's game changing, and the more I do it, the more I start to associate these sounds with sleep, which means it has an even more powerful effect. And my body just starts to relax and decompress quicker and quicker upon being in that environment with those sounds. Win-win, right? If you have an iPhone, you can actually begin listening to a 3-hour rain sounds video on YouTube. Go to the timer section on your phone and you can set like 2 hours 55. And when it says when timer ends, at the bottom of the list below all the actual tones and noises, select stop playing. Game changing, right? Who knew? Probably a lot of you, but I didn't, and now I'm very happy that I do. So again, guys, as a recap, in the realm of training, we have box squats, slightly above parallel and no bounce. It may hurt your ego, but they won't hurt your knee, hips, back, and cripple you for the next few days. Definitely a thumbs up from me, and if squats to you are something that just feels inconsistent, a little bit painful, a little bit wrong, you've got long femurs, you're quite an elastic athlete, then this is definitely something worth trying. Then we have Coombe Farm Organics, spending a little bit more money on good quality animal products. It's easier for your digestive system. It'll be a lot more digestible anyway. You can park the fear of hormones and chemicals and all that other stuff, and rest assured that at least you're spending your money, or investing your money, I should say, on something that is going to benefit your fitness, health, and wellness. And finally, we finished off with some soothing rain sounds to assist in the transition of you going to sleep. Sleep is an issue for so many people in the modern age, so it makes sense that it's something that deserves at least a modicum of our attention in regards to how to improve it. Really hope you did enjoy this, guys, and if you did, as always, please do give it a thumbs up. Make sure you have subscribed if you have not already, and as always, beautiful team, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you soon.